Let's try this again. Needless to say, I didn't reach my goal weight by my birthday, and if I don't do something soon, I'm probably not going to reach it for Halloween either. Now, normally I like to dress up for Halloween as like a superhero, but this year I'll be in St. Louis on Halloween, so I don't even know if I'm going to be able to dress up. So my performance has been a little bit lackluster the last couple of months. There's a lot of times where you think you have all this time in the world, but then the days just seem to melt on and you don't really realize just how much time you waste until it's the middle of August. This year went by super fast. So in order to reach my weight goals, I decided I needed something a little bit more, something a little bit extra. Then I started thinking about how I've become a success as a freelance writer, and most of that was because of a spreadsheet that I keep in mind. I'm all about gamifying fitness in any way that you find fun. And one of the things I love doing more than anything is keeping and recording data. In fact, the spreadsheet helped me move from being just a freelance writer on something like Textbooker to helping my client reach almost 100,000 visitors a month. So I figured that since that spreadsheet did so well for me before, maybe it could do something similar for me for health and fitness. So I'm going to gamify my data. Now you can find whatever works for you to help make it fun for you to lose weight or to be more healthy. For me, it's all about playing the Xbox and keeping all my scores and data recorded. Yes, showing you a little bit of my geekness. So for this next attempt at being healthy and fit, I'm going to use my spreadsheet here. And it's not nearly as elaborate as one I use for writing, but it'll serve a purpose. Even my writing one was kind of basic at the beginning, and then I just added more to it. So I have no doubt that I'll probably add more to this. But as you can see, I have all the days planned out for every week, starting today, which is Friday. Now, I don't really need my morning weight because there's all kinds of things that'll cause your weight to fluctuate from day to day, but I like to keep track of it simply for data purposes because I'll also track what I eat, how much water I drink, and stuff like that. So it'll give me an idea of how much you weigh, how much I weigh every day, and what directly impacts how much I weigh. And this spreadsheet's going to be mostly calories in versus calories out, and this is going to be scored at the very end of the week for a grand total. And based on averages of 3,500 calories equals 1 pound of fat, I should lose 1.75 pounds if I maintain something like this for eating and exercise, which I'm pretty sure I'm not going to. My goal is to strive for the calorie difference to be in the thousands, not the hundreds. What makes this fun for me though is that every week it's going to compare one score against the other. So like next week, it'll take this number here and subtract it from the top, which will give me either green or red numbers. And if I can keep this number in the green, then I can consider it a success. Another part of my spreadsheet that I'm looking forward to doing is exercise.com points. Now I like to use exercise.com to keep track of my personal records, and at any point I can go back and look to see what day that I did like the most push-ups or the most sit-ups or any other exercise that's there. And I like to keep track of my points, even though you don't get as many points for cardio activity as you do for weight training. But since I'm not trying to bulk out, it doesn't really matter for me. The primary goal is to total up my entire points for the week versus the next week. And this, like the calorie difference, is going to show either green or red number. And if I can keep the numbers in the green, then I'm heading in the right direction. Then the weight loss column is kind of just comparing how much the calorie difference is when I eat versus what it is in real life. Even though a lot of experts say that 3,500 calories equals 1 pound of fat, that's also based on an average. So not everybody's going to burn the same amount at the same time because everybody's unique. Everybody has a different physiology, and to try to match what one person does really doesn't promote health for yourself because, well, you're different. So I like to keep track of that just to see where I lie in the grand scheme of things. So every week I will strive to keep this number green, even if it's just by 1 point, because anything in the green is a benefit. It'll be working towards an end goal, and I don't have to put too much emphasis on trying to like burn off 20 pounds in a single month. Just as long as my weekly averages continue to grow in the green, then I can consider it a success and it'll work towards reaching my goal weight. Another thing I want to point out of why my spreadsheet kind of looks like this, even though it's not technically the end of March or August, and almost the beginning of September, is that each one of these columns is taking data from the one above it. So it kind of gives me a base average of what my score is going to look like if I maintain a certain eating habit. Then every day I just go in and manually type in these numbers, and it adjusts as it goes on. So if I come up with something that's really good for calories in versus calories out, then I could try to duplicate it the next day by eating and working out the same way. The same with the exercise.com points. So if I come up with a good workout routine that gives me quite a few points and starts cutting into my top 1,000 rank that I want to get back into, then I know what I need to do for the next day. Now, do you have to do something this extensive just so that I can lose a couple of pounds? Probably not, but it's what keeps my mind engaged, and that's the trick to the whole thing. It's all about finding something that you enjoy doing and sticking with it. For me, it's all about playing the Xbox or keeping track of my stats in a spreadsheet. I'm a bit of a dork when it comes to stuff like that. That's what's fun for me. Sometimes I look back thinking I should have been a scientist or an accountant. But gamifying stuff, it actually works. So when you take a mundane chore and try to find a way to make it fun for yourself and keep your mind engaged. Because the more that you enjoy a certain activity, the more likely you're going to keep doing it. Which is why a lot of people fail when it comes to things like joining gyms and exercise DVDs, because once you start viewing it as a mundane chore, you're less likely to keep doing it. Which is why I try to change it up as much as possible. I love keeping track of my records, I love keeping track of data, I love playing games, so mixing all those together helps me create my spreadsheet. In fact, I have a spreadsheet that shows me how many calories I burn for the different games that I play. And I'm also keeping track of how long it takes for wearable, like the wrist weights and stuff, how long it takes before they start breaking down, so I have it down to the minute. Technically, I have it down to the second. But that's going to be part of a study that I'm doing for Crossing Colorado's blog, so I don't want to show that one just yet, so I'm trying to get all the numbers for that. But with some of the higher quality wearables that you can get nowadays, it's going to take a while. So I'm going to try to keep up with these on a Friday morning basis, and as you can see, I haven't taken a shower or shaved yet. I figure that if I get doing these first thing in the morning, then I'm more likely to keep up with it, because I just wind up getting sidetracked in the afternoon and it gets really difficult to create a video. So there we go, that's it in a nutshell. I do plan on doing a little bit more with this channel in the near future. I know I keep saying that, but this time I'm kind of serious about it. In fact, I started planning out some ideas. So, like, one thing I want to do is show you how I make my coffees as opposed to getting something that you buy at like Starbucks or, in my case, Caribou. Because there's nearly 600 calories in the coffee that I get from Caribou when I can come home and make it myself for just over 200. I'll show you how to do that in the near future. But anyway, so here's to another attempt of trying to maintain a daily balance of not eating too much and actually putting in some work for exercise. Not really sure where this is going to go, but hey, maybe it'll go somewhere fun. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make a video next Friday because I'll be in Omaha at WordCamp. But I will create a video on Thursday. I think that's going to do it for me today. I'm crossing my fingers. I hope this gamification plan works. If not, we'll try something else. The point is to never give up. I'll see you next week.